The Korthax Empire's victory celebration lasted 17 days. Their warrior priests sang hymns of conquest while displaying the burnt husk of humanity's last battleship, the UES Defiance, in their capital's Memorial Square. Earth had fallen. The human colonies were silent. After barely 3 years of conflict, the newest spacefaring race had been eliminated. Supreme War Master Gorthak stood before the Council of Domination, his 4 arms spread in triumph. The humans fought with surprising vigor, he admitted. But like all prey species, they exhausted themselves quickly. Their total war doctrine consumed their resources within cycles. They built no reserves, held nothing back. Brave, but foolish. The council chittered their agreement. They had seen it before, young races that burned bright and fast, throwing everything into their first conflict. The humans had fought harder than most, yes, but they had still fallen to the Empire's measured, sustainable warfare. That night, Gorthak received a priority message from a border outpost. Static filled the channel before a panicked voice broke through. War Master, unknown vessels emerging from subspace. Configuration doesn't match any known. The transmission cut off. Within hours, reports flooded in from across the Empire. Ghost ships appearing from nowhere. Vessels that shouldn't exist. The destroyed human fleet had been accounted for, every ship catalogued and confirmed eliminated. These were different. Deep beneath the ruins of Earth, in bunkers the Korthax scanners had dismissed as mass graves, Admiral James Chun opened his eyes. 3 years of meditation, of conserving every calorie, of breathing recycled air so stale it hurt. Around him, 2 million others did the same. Phase 1 complete. He whispered into his calm. Begin Phase 2. The Korthax had made a fundamental error. They assumed human military doctrine mirrored their own, that Earth's public shipyards were their only production facilities. They never found the hollowed-out asteroids, the manufacturing plants hidden in gas giant atmospheres, the generation ships disguised as derelicts. They had mistaken humanity's opening moves for their entire game. War Master. His aide scales had turned white with fear. The ghost ships, they're not ghosts. They're new. Fresh from shipyards. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Gorthak's tactical display exploded with contacts. Not just military vessels, converted mining ships bristling with weapons, pleasure yachts turned into missile platforms, even agricultural vessels repurposed as ramming ships. Humanity hadn't just militarized their navy. They had militarized their entire civilization. But the true horror was yet to come. On the conquered human colonies, Korthax occupation forces reported massive seismic activity. The dead cities they patrolled began to crack open, revealing vast underground networks. The humans hadn't evacuated when their worlds fell. They had gone underground, spending 3 years converting their planet's cores into foundries. From Mars, a transmission reached Gorthak's command ship. The face that appeared was scarred, thin from years of rationing, but the eyes burned with purpose. I am Colonel Rebecca Foster, Mars Resistance Command. You destroyed our surface cities, so we built better ones below. You took our skies, so we learned to fight in the dark. You thought you won because we stopped shooting. She smiled, and it was terrible. We stopped shooting because we ran out of bullets. We've spent 3 years making more. The numbers were impossible. The energy signatures suggested the humans had converted entire moon cores into reactors. They had strip-mined their own dead worlds to build weapons. They had turned their burial grounds into training camps. How? Gorthak demanded. Your resources were depleted. Your population was scattered. You counted the soldiers you could see, Foster replied. You never counted the engineers. The children who grew up in bunkers learning to hate you. The grieving parents who turned their loss into purpose. Every human you killed created 10 more who would die to stop you. The defeated human race had spent 3 years transforming from a civilization into a weapon. They had learned Korthax tactics, studied their psychology, reverse-engineered their technology. What emerged from the ashes wasn't the same species that had fought the First War. It was something harder, smarter, and infinitely more determined. Within 6 months, the Korthax Empire had lost half its territory. Within a year, Gorthak stood in chains before the ruins of his own capital. "We offered you peace after your first victory," Chun told him. "You chose extermination instead. So we gave you what you thought you wanted, a dead enemy. Then we came back." As Gorthak was led away, he finally understood. The humans hadn't been defeated. They had been transforming. What the Korthaks had fought was humanity's peacetime military. What they faced now was a species that had nothing left to lose.